Hey, how's it going? This is Augustus from Ask a Wise Guy, and you guessed it, I'm about to get wise with you. Today I want to speak with you guys on something that has it's been on my mind, but the Lord has been showing me a lot of things on this lately. Today we have a lot of experts. We have a lot of psychologists. We have a lot of scientists, theorists, theologists, a lot of titles. And these are experts, and they have done great feats of work to come up with their doctrines and their theologies. But the issue is that a lot of these guys, they don't know what they're talking about. A lot of the experts that are before us, they don't know what they're talking about. If you're an expert and you're listening to this, it's probably, there's probably going to be some things that I may say that might ruffle your feathers, but just stick with me. But what I want to talk to you about today is one of those things that a lot of those experts, they think that they understand, but they don't know what they're talking about. And that topic is time. Many of these experts, they speak with great confidence, and they speak on things that they have just learned themselves. But they speak on these things as if their word is bond, as if there's no way around what they have learned, and as if that's it and that's all. Now they will make quick notes to remind the listener that they're not perfect. But after that quick note, you'll hear nothing but perfection, being implemented in their speech. And then 100 years go by, and some of their some of the people that are following in their footsteps, they learn something else. Another 100 years go by, and the next people learn something that is so off the wall that it, in a sense, makes what the people that were speaking on this thing years before appear to be false. But it's all factual, it's all true. See, and that's because a lot of these guys don't know what they're talking about. Time is one of those things. Reason why is because time is a conditional thing. Time is based on condition. You might want to write that down. Time is based on condition. For example, if you're on the earth, the time may be 12 p.m. If you're in California, you go to Japan, it may be 12 a.m. You go to Texas, it may be 2 o'clock. See, so time is conditional. Take it a step further. You hop in a spaceship, and we're talking something advanced here, and you go into outer space. Now say if you were, now this is a analogy, all right? But say you were to go so far into space that you were to shoot past a wormhole, all right, and time stops for you. You're in that wormhole for a good hour. But then you come out of that wormhole and you see that time didn't move. Time is conditional. You take it a step above that. You go to heaven. See? And then you come back to the earth. Just pay attention to what that time might be. I may be speaking to some that have actually had visitations to heaven. I may be speaking to some right now that don't even believe in these things. Well, you don't have to. Just listen to NASA and their reports for an hour and then some. And see if I'm lying. See if I'm making this up. See? So, time is conditional. One of the greatest things about time is that you're entitled to it. As long as you're on the earth, you're entitled to time. Now, there's many people out there that aren't given rights, and they aren't given much freedom. But even in that, they're given a specific amount of time. You know, there were slaves, and still are slaves today. They're actually working quite diligently to bring slavery back in certain countries right now. It's very sad, but it's very true. But, you know, slaves, they have their time stripped from them. See? But you look at kings, and people give their time to kings, to people of power, to people of wealth, people that live in a kingly state. People give their time to kings. See? So time, everyone is entitled to time. You might want to write that down. Everyone is entitled to time. Time is not your enemy. Time is not your enemy. To someone that doesn't care about time, to someone that doesn't value time, time could easily appear to be that person's enemy. But in reality, if you don't appreciate anything that has a lot to do with your life, to do with your endeavors, if you just neglect it, well, anything will become your enemy. It would appear to be your enemy if you don't care about it, if you don't tend to it. See? So time is time is not your enemy. It can be your friend. If you make time your friend, you will have a friend for life. You might want to write that down. If you make time your friend, you would have a friend for life. Excuse me. Jesus talks quite a bit about time. Time, when Jesus referred to time, it was as if it was a small amount of a small storage of air left on the earth that everyone needs to get to, as if air was running out and this was the last bit of clean air. And he spoke about time as if, if you don't get to this air soon, that's it for you. That's how the Lord spoke about time. And then he topped everything off with saying, no one knows the time that the Father will send me to come back. No one knows the time, not even the angels. See? And what this meant was, time is so detrimental, it's so much of a big deal that whatever you're doing on this earth, you have to do it as if you don't know if tomorrow will be here. Do it with your all. That's a real appreciation for time. And see, when you appreciate time like that, that's the equivalent to seeing your wife and saying to her, hey, I missed you. I couldn't wait to see you. I was thinking about you all day. Ladies, that's the equivalent to saying to your husband, hey, big boy, I've missed you. That man will come home feeling like a champ, feeling like a king. You say that to him. When you appreciate time like that, ladies, when you appreciate time like that, fellas, you have a friend for life. Aristotle, he had a great appreciation for time. He said in one of his collections on politics, he said those that do business are entitled to leisure, but no one that has no involvement in business, they should have no leisure. See, why is that? Because leisure is when you're resting. That's when time is how can I put this? This is when time is rewarding you. But rewards are based on what people have earned. You can't reward someone something that they haven't earned. That's not a reward, that's a gift. See? So what Aristotle was saying was, if you invest your time into something, business, if you do something very productive with your time, then you're entitled for time to reward you, and that's with leisure. See, time, it's a very big deal. Time is a commodity above all others. Time is a commodity above all others. If you invest time into a business, is going to be much more valuable than gold if you invested gold into a business. If you invest time into a marriage, it's going to be much more valuable than if you invested simply just love or compassion into a marriage. You could buy your wife a palace. If you don't spend time with her, she might end up cheating on you within your palace. That palace, that I would say, that's a great portrayal of love. But if you don't spend time with her, see, time is the greatest commodity of all of these things. Now, don't get me wrong, love is greater than time. But time has its role. Time is a very detrimental thing. So, time is the greatest commodity of all these things. When you invest your time into something, the return it's there's really no limits to it. Whenever you invest your time wisely, you will have great rewards for it. Whenever you invest more time into something, you get better rewards. For example, I could put this video out, right? And I could put this with a collection of other audios. And I could have enough material to do something with it, right? I could put these videos out as audio videos, right? And put them on YouTube, monetize them, and get 1,000 views. I'll make $10 for that. Now, I could take the audio and then I could put that together and throw it on Amazon as an audio book. I get 1,000. I could get 1,000 buys or purchases. I could get $1,000 for that if I put it out for $1. But if I transcribed it and then put it into a book and then sold it on Amazon Kindle for $10, that's $10,000. Time is a very big deal. Time is a very, very big deal. I understand time. Now, what a lot of people do when they learn things this deep, they like doing weird things. Among those weird things, a lot of people like personifying things. They like deifying things. They like taking simple things and making them a person. deep down is because they understand that there are spirit beings behind certain things, but they don't know which is which, so they kind of guess and they hope that they hit their mark. But I'll lay this out on the table for you. Time is not a person. Okay. Time is not a person. It exists because of a person, and it is being governed and controlled by a person. This person is the Almighty God, the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. So he's controlling time. But time is not a person. You don't want to say, oh, I thank you, time, oh, I praise you, time. You don't want to say those things. But you do want to thank the creator of time. You want to thank him. See? Time is a big deal. But something that is, I'm not going to say more important, but you have to pay attention to this as long as you dwell in time. And that's schedules. Schedules. What is your schedule? What kind of schedules do you have? What kind of schedules do you keep? Schedules are based on your atmosphere. You might want to write that down. Schedules are based on your atmosphere. So, if you're a poor man and you're around rich people, and your whole objective is to get some food and to find a nice place to lay your head at night. Well, you have to pay attention to your environment. You have to pay attention to when those rich people leave their stores, when they leave their when they leave the streets, when they go home. Because if you wait too long, if you're outside of the appropriate schedule, there's not going to be anyone for you to ask for anything. You're not going to be able to ask anyone for any handouts. If you're a rich man and you have to go somewhere, or a woman, and you have to go somewhere where there's a lot of homeless people, I will hope that, if you're a man, I will hope that you wouldn't go there wearing a tuxedo. And if you're a woman, I would hope that you're not wearing a red dress, right? Designer dress with red bottoms. I will hope not. Or stilettos, right? But say you're rich and you have to go to this place where there's a lot of homeless people. You know that they're not the most stable people in the world. But you have to go you have to go here, and you have to get to where you want to go. You have to pay attention to when they come out, and to when they go in, to when they lay their heads down, to when there will be witnesses to see if someone might try something. You have to pay attention to the schedule. So schedules are based on your atmosphere. To take this deeper, the earth is ran under time. Time is such a big deal that it time, there's many planets that dwell in time. So you could go to the moon, the clock will still be ticking. See, so time is very vast. Our solar system, I would believe that our full solar system is within time. But time is very vast. So your schedule has to be, it's wrapped around, or I'm sorry, your schedule is based on time on the earth. In heaven, your schedule is based on the Lord. I will write that down. On the earth, your schedule is based on time. In heaven, your schedule is based on the Lord. Now some may say, all right, well, how can you compare time to the Lord? How can you? Easy. The Lord has a lot of love. He is love, according to His word. Now, with this love, it builds up inside of Him, and what happens is it's kind of like a volcano. There's a lot of fire in this volcano, and what happens is once the chemicals they collide, once the fumes, once they are building up, at some point in time, this volcano is going to be ready to erupt, and the fire is going to have to burst out of this volcano, this mountain of fire. So the Lord's love is very similar. His love just builds up inside of Him, and it builds up and it builds up. And at some time, He has to give it. He has to find His children. He has to find His creation to give it to. And they have to come to Him to receive this love. This isn't limited to heaven. This is very true on the earth for those that know Him and for those that love Him. But that's what the whole atmosphere in heaven is based on. It's based on His emotions. It's based on when He's ready to give His love. See? And your schedule is based on that. Everyone's schedule is based on His love in heaven. If the love is still building inside of them, then you're good. You can minister to others. You could go to the stores. You could go to the trees and eat from them. You could do whatever. But when His love is ready and it's ready to erupt, you have a place to be. It's time. It's time to come to His throne and praise Him. These are heavenly secrets that is all in Scripture. It's just that very few look into these things. But it's all in Scripture. And that's what schedules are based on in heaven. On earth, your schedule is based on your time. It's based on time, period. That's the overall atmosphere. And your schedule is based on it. But in heaven, your schedule is based on His love. This is a side note. You can write this down if you want. But imagine how powerful your life would be if you lived your life on earth. If you based your schedule on earth, on a heavenly schedule. If you didn't base your schedule on time on the earth, but you based it on His love on the earth. Needless to say, you will most definitely see heaven on the earth if you did such things. If you lived your life in such a way. If you live your life to that degree, not neglecting time, but understanding time's role in your life. Oh, you would live every day as if you were in heaven. And I'm talking to you based on experience. This is word, but this is experience. I've experienced these things. See, time is a very big deal. And your schedule is a very big deal. Write this down. Your schedule is how you handle seasons. Say seasons. What do you mean seasons? I thought we were talking about time. Your schedule is how you handle seasons. This is how it works. You have a season, you have time under it, and then you have your schedule under that. Mind you, there's no time in heaven. They keep track of our time, but there's no time up there. So time is weeded out of that scenario. Originally, there was no time on the earth, but when Adam and Eve ate from that fruit, and you could believe that story or not, but look, if you have the spiritists on this side, you have the Christians on this side, you have the Luciferians on that side, and all of these guys believe in this story, maybe you should check yourself if you still don't want to believe in this. You know, I'm gonna leave it at that. But time is a very big deal, and there was a time on the earth where there was no time, but Adam and Eve, they bit of the fruit, and there was a need for time now the Lord said, all right, well, look, I can't let you live like this forever. I'm going to appoint a time for you to die. See? So, time is your schedule is how you handle your seasons. Seasons are above time. It's more higher in authority. Seasons could change very quickly. Now, when we say seasons, we believe, all right, winter, spring, summer, fall, and it repeats. But as a matter of fact, seasons change every day. Seasons change every day. There's certain locations in the world, maybe Florida, maybe California, maybe Texas, where it would be warm in the winter, or not necessarily warm, but it would be we could say spring. All right, it'll be warm in spring, and the second nighttime gets here, you feel like you need to bring your jacket out. That's because there was a change in the season. The season changed. We call seasons winter, spring, summer, fall, but those are seasons of the year. But they're seasons within the day. So seasons are higher than your schedule. There's seasons at your job. So business may be up, and depending on the sector that you work in, the workforce that you're in, business may be up. But see, if you're not prudent, if you don't understand what season could come next, if you don't work as if a down season might come, when that down season comes, you won't be prepared. There's a common proverb that I love using, and I love living by this, but prepare for the worst when it's bad and prepare for the best. No, I'm sorry. Prepare for the worst when it's good and prepare for the good when it's bad. That's prudence. That's being 3 steps ahead. That's not letting anything catch you by surprise. See? So, seasons. Your schedule is how you deal with seasons. Because we're on the earth, it's very important for you to appreciate time. Even though what I'm breaking down to you, even though there's no time in heaven, even though it pays off more to pay attention to the Lord's timing and his seasons, you still want to appreciate time, and you want to have great wisdom on time as long as you're on the earth, because it will allow you to convert the commodity of God's love, of the fruits of the Spirit. It will allow you to convert heavenly things that are normal in heaven to earthly soil. See? This is deep for many, but in all reality, they're very simple things. They're hidden. That's what makes them deep, because you don't hear these things every day. But they're very simple. They're very foundational. They're very easy to follow. Time. There's people that speak on time, and there's I forgot the speaker, but he brought up the saying for that. I don't have time for that. I will have to make time for that. That's a very big deal. For that. What is worthy of your time? What do you invest your time into? Do you even know what you were born here to invest your time into? Do you know where to look? As long as there's been people on the earth, there's been spiritual activity. And in ancient times, You had three different beings that would really inhabit the earth, and everything that happened on the earth, they happened based on these three beings. You have mankind, you have spirit beings, and you have people that were born of spirit beings. In the terms of Greek mythology, you had men, you have gods, that's lowercase g, gods, and demigods, or god kings. One thing that I've noticed, and you might notice if you know history, is that things were much more easier in life for the demigods, for those that were born of spirits. Reason why is not just because they were divine, but it was because they lived every single day on the earth understanding who their God was. So they knew where to get their assistance from. If you believe in the Lord, if you call yourself a child of God, if you call yourself a joint heir with Christ, with Jesus Christ, why can't we live according to these principles? Why can't you live according to these principles? Why can't you live every day knowing who your God is, knowing where your assistance comes from? The Greeks had this down. The Romans had this down. And you would have people that believe that they were born here from deities, and they would achieve great feats. And people, many people go to church and day in and day out, and we really reverend Jesus. But many people look at the power side. They say, oh, we love him for what he can do, for what he did, and what he could do, and what he can do. And if you really listen to that clearly, you'll see that all they're really saying is what he could do for me, what he could do for us. This light bill, he could take care of that. This car bill, he could take care of this house note. This debt, he could take care of that. That's what people are really saying. There's not going to be a relationship there. And greatness is going to be very limited. Anyone's appreciation for time is going to be very limited if that's how they see their God. This is big. Time. I'll use Hercules for an example. All right, Hercules. He now going back to what I said a little earlier, things were easier for demigods. War was easier for demigods. Now Hercules, he had different challenges. He had different feats that he had to conquer, that he had to achieve. But he did so because he knew who his God was. He knew who his dad was. And in some other lesson, I would like to go into that, into greater detail on, who he believed his father was. It was a deity. It was Zeus. But in other lessons, I'd like to go into much greater detail on that. But he knew who his father was, and he fought according to the empowerment of his father, of his God. And what happened was he had a lot more challenges than the average man. But when it came to fighting a rebel army, when it came to fighting a barbarian army, it was very easy for him. It was art. It was something to be spoken of in plays, something to be based on and mentioned in playwright, something that couldn't just be topped, because he knew who his God was. It wasn't because he was half man, half deity. And see, when people hear about the life of Jesus, when Christians think about the things that Jesus have done, we have a lot of trouble understanding if he did these things as a half man, half God, or as a man. Jesus did every single thing that he have done on this earth as a man. That was the rules of the game. That was the whole objective, for Jesus to come to the earth as a man, to live his life as a man, to do what Adam was supposed to do as a man, and to win as a man. That was the whole objective. Jesus couldn't for 1 second rely on his divinity to get things done. He couldn't, because that would be going against the rules of the game. And I just brought up Hercules. That's why the enemy brought Hercules, brought all of these deities, brought all of these Christ-like figures into the world before Jesus came. He didn't know when Jesus was going to come, but he knew that there was going to be a Christ sent from God. So he sent all of these deities into the world to try to stop Jesus' coming, to try to give people something else to believe when he did come. See? And the enemy understood the rules of this game. So I'm really condensing this. I'm going to speak on this in other videos, so please stay tuned. But that was the rules of the game. And Jesus, he had to do it as a man. So people believe that things were easy for Jesus because he was half man, half God. No. It was just as hard for him to turn away that vase of wine, to turn away that beautiful Roman woman. You got to remember, those Roman women were beautiful. They were the Romans. They were a mixture of people, and they had a lot of Italian in them because they were right there. I believe that they had some Greek in them as well. I believe that there's a small town by the shoe of Italy, and Rome was very close to that town, so I know that they mixed with the people there. I think that they mixed with a little bit of Grecian or ancient Greek people too. So those are very beautiful women, But Jesus, he had to be tempted by that. He had to know what it was like to be tempted, but he turned it away. He turned all of these things away. The enemy came to him himself and tempted Jesus. He had to turn that away. And he has done a very good job, I might like to add. But he did these things as a man. When we look at that, that shows you not just what you can do, but what you're supposed to do. And see, when it was time for Jesus to preach, because that was really his assignment. It was to preach, to save us. But one of his gifts were, it was wisdom. It was godly wisdom. It was to defeat the wisdom of this world. It was to preach to the people. So when Jesus would preach, when he would teach, that was very easy for him to do. Writer's block was a very rarity for Jesus, I would imagine. The same way that Hercules dropping his shield, that's a very rare thing. Near impossible. See, so these things are easier, not when you become half man, half deity. That's not what it's about. It's about knowing who your God is. Now, when you understand who your God is, when you understand why he sent you into this world, now you know what to do with time. Now you know why time is before you, why it's there. Now you know your role within time. Now you know why the clock is ticking so fast, and you have no idea how to keep up with the time. You have no idea how to subdue time, how to make time stop. When you know your God, you know these things now. You have the answer. And you know your role within time. It's very easy, very simple. Very simple, very easy. Time. This is very big. I hope that you guys are catching this. I really hope that you guys are catching this. I hope you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. Time can be a weapon. Time can be a weapon. I used to think racing. I love cars and I love racing. I love every form of racing. I love aircrafts. I love Ferrari, Lamborghini. I love Formula One. I even love the ancient chariot races. I love horses. I believe that the relationship between a jockey or a horse rider and their horse is very synonymous to the relationship of a racer and their car. I believe that someone that is a experienced horse rider will be a very artistic race car driver. But I used to think that racing was all about speed. I used to think that speed was the whole essence of racing. Speed and power, power and speed, torque, speed, momentum, angular velocity, center of gravity, inertia, all of these things, physics, right? But what the Lord has showed me was that racing isn't about speed, it's about time. It's about the warship of time, the battle of time. Two racers in a race, neck and neck, and they're coming for a finish line. They don't care about who's the fastest. They don't care about whose car is the fastest. If you're neck and neck with a car that's twice as fast as you, I think it's quite clear that speed and power has nothing to do with this. These guys are in a battle for the best time now. They're battling for that time. This person's on the left saying, if I would have slipstreamed behind him a little longer, I could have cut the aerodynamic drag and force on my car, which would have gave me a greater boost, and I probably would be more in front of him now. And that would have gave me a greater time advantage. That would have gave me a split-second advantage. The person on the right is saying, man, if I would have just took that turn a little sooner, if I could have gotten to that turn a little sooner, and if I could have blocked him from getting around me on that turn a little better, I might have a split-second advantage. Or he, the guy on the left of me, would have gotten less of an advantage on his split second. It's about time now. It's not about speed. You might want to write this down. Speed is the warship of time. So if you do things speedily, you're using time as a weapon now. It's a weapon. If you're in a competition against someone and you could get something done better and faster, you've defeated your competition with time. Time is a weapon now. Because of speed. Speed is the warship of time. I pray that you all go to the Lord to allow Him to reveal time and its purpose in your life and your purpose in time. Time is very detrimental. It's a very big deal. Time here makes love on earth more important than love in heaven. I'm going to say that again. Time makes love on earth more important on earth than it is in heaven. If you're in heaven and you're being loved, guess what? You're in heaven. You have a great amount. You have a great abundance. You have a great availability of love in heaven. And it's not going to be taken away from you. But see, on the earth, you have a time limit to when you could get to love. You have a time limit to get to the Lord. You have a time limit to accept Jesus into your heart and make him your Lord and Savior. Because when that time is up, guess what? An eternity without love. So time is more important on the earth because of time. I would say time is a very big deal. And see, with that, there's very little time left for people to get this love to everyone that they know, to bring everyone to the Lord. There's a little bit of time left. I would say that it would be wise for people if, even though they had misconceptions, even though they had they have misunderstandings, and they don't completely understand the things of the Lord, I would say it would be a very wise thing for any of them to come to the Lord first and then ask all of the questions later. Because time doesn't give you a chance to ask all of the questions that we have. It really doesn't. Time isn't that generous. It's not going to wait for you. It's not going to say, okay, you still have questions to ask about the Lord. Okay, well, I'm going to wait for you to ask all of these questions. Then I'm going to let life happen. Then this accident that may be happening, I'm going to allow that to happen. Time doesn't do that. You know, I've heard people say that before they came to the Lord, some, you know, they haven't. But people will say time and time again, they'll say, all right, Lord, well, just keep me alive. And then, you know, give me some time to feel more comfortable about you. And then I'll come to you. Give me some time to learn more about you, because I don't trust you, Lord. But give me some time to come to you, to learn about you. Just keep me alive, though, and then I'll come to you. That's a fool. That's a fool. God's not in heaven saying, let's make a deal. He's in heaven saying, this is the deal. And time is not on your side. Not if you don't value it. Not if you don't appreciate it. And we are all running out. So, I love you guys. Take care. Subscribe, like, share this with everyone that you know. And stay wise.